everybody? Welcome back to another episode of A State of Loud. This is your boy, Christopher Jefferson here, and today we have an amazing guest. I would call him one of my good friends. At one point, he was a great mentor, still is, teaching me a lot. He's an editor. He's a filmmaker, a music producer, aspiring all-around juggernaut when it comes to this entertainment world, and he's probably been seeing his work on the TV right near you. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Tyson Adams.
What up, guys? How you doing? Nice to meet you. Chris, I'm happy to be here, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's good to have you back, finally, live and in color.
Appreciate it.
Which is, I don't want to say it's ironic, but I think it's just fitting, given the work that we do and the things that we going together. For people who don't know, man, I mean, you and I met, ironically, you and I met on the trail with Lewis.
Yeah, we did.
Just kind of working. You were filming a mini doc on him
that never came out.
Never came out yet. Well,
it has not came out
yet.
How about that?
It has not come out yet. So pay attention, people. It's going to be coming. But nah, man. I figured, second episode, it's only fitting to have you on. You've been such an integral part of this journey. And I think it's a journey that people need to hear for themselves from you, man. Because God, people out there need some inspirations. So we're just gonna have to talk about it. Basically, I don't even know where to start. How did we get here? That's my patient, because I know you got so many big things going on in the media world, and with media being such a predominant part of life right now, right? Between entertainment, between marketing and sales, between lifestyles, between communication, media has become the forefront of where our society going, to the point that literally we all have cell phones in our pockets, which means we all have 4K TVs in our pockets, supercomputers in our pockets. And that's kind of the world that you're moving in now, is entertainment and media. You're editing for some of the big dogs out there. I would say, if I could say, edited something for Max. You edit at one point in your career. You edited a Super Bowl commercial. You're doing a lot of stuff that people kind of can see every day on their TV. Mm-hmm. How did you get to this point?
How did I get to this point? I would say hope and prayer.
Okay.
but besides that, consistently just getting better at my craft, or trying to get better at my craft. By my mantra is always learn something new every day. I don't care if it's a new way to spell an old word, just learn something new. And for me, I took that, especially in my early years and teaching myself how to edit video. I literally was on YouTube for like 3 to 5 hours a day, if not longer.
Sheesh.
For, I would say, daily, until I figure out how to make stuff look good. And it wasn't like I started, as far as my editing journey started, right? I first started with something called Video Editor. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that.
Not even a clue, bro.
But at the time, this was 2013, 2014. It was free. I don't know if it even still exists or if it's still free. But it was, thinking back on it now, it was probably one of the, it got the job done, but it, like, compared to what I use now, I use Premiere Pro. But it was hard.
Really?
I don't know if it was hard because I didn't know what I was doing at the time, or just simple tasks were not simple, I should say.
So it wasn't like the CapCut of today.
Right,
you
definitely
could throw
not.
Something on.
Definitely not.
Put the effects on and look sick.
Right, it definitely not. So that was my first, no, I take that back, man. It was probably 2008 when I was playing around with iMovie on like a Mac.
On a MacBook, yeah.
But I was just BSing, just taking random video, because I always had a love for video cameras. Yeah. Especially in the 90s, growing up with my cousin and we used to go through the Fingerhut book. I don't know if anyone remembers Fingerhut, but Fingerhut was a catalog where it had items in the book where I don't know if I forgot how it worked. I know you could purchase it, but I think it also, if I'm not mistaken, you could accrue a certain amount of points, and that would add to whatever you want to purchase.
Got you.
So in the early 90s, they had the big camcorders with the big VHS tapes.
Put up on your shoulder.
Yeah, exactly. So my cousin and I, we always wanted one of those cameras. It never happened, but I didn't get my very first camera probably until I want to say 2001, because I used to work at Sears. I used to work in the computer department.
Sheesh.
So I used to get discounts on a whole bunch of stuff. as far as electronics, especially if someone like brings it in after they no longer wanted it.
Oh, restock.
So, yeah, it's a restock, and plus you get the employee discount. So that's how I got my first. I want to say it's like either with Sony or the JVC.
Okay.
And so that was with the mini DV tapes.
So was that? Oh, that was the tapes. That wasn't like the little
right.
disc.
It wasn't digital yet. So it was the mini DV tapes. I wish I can find or locate where that camera or the tapes. I don't know what I was recording back then, but I say all that to say that my love for what I'm doing now came from those curious years. I can even trace it back to probably hip hop. Hip hop probably saved me from doing a lot of stupid stuff and kept me on a path of wanting to be where I'm at now, actually, because of course the music brought me in, but it was the music videos that I would probably have to say meant so much more to me than an actual song.
Okay.
Because the music videos will always keep my attention. Nothing else as a little kid really kept my attention, but
except
music videos and maybe books.
Okay.
It depends what kind of book it is.
Now, when you're talking music videos, you're talking about like the box.
I'm talking about
MTV.
I'm talking about video music box. I'm talking about Yo MT Raps, which was on MTV. I'm talking Rap City.
Okay.
I'm talking Teen Summit.
Okay. All right.
I'm a 90s kid.
Back when music videos were the thing. You used to wait up TRL.
Right. TRL was later. That's like the late 90s.
Oh, so this is beforehand. Before they had all the countdown shows, they were just showing music videos. Okay.
So they had MTV Raps. I think that was probably the only show that was probably doing countdowns at the time. Yeah. And that was with Fat Five Freddy long time ago. But, my love for rap music and then later discovering other genres started it all, honestly. As far as the visual aspects of the videos, and at one time, MTV, this was probably early 2000s, they would do something called Behind the Video. Yes. Where they would go behind the scenes of music videos being shot. And I thought that was the greatest thing ever because no one ever uncovered that in this industry. So the fact that they did that with really high profile directors, I was just like a kid in a candy store for me. Sheesh. And this was the time when I used to actually record music videos on my V8 and my VCR. Yeah. So I think I have tapes somewhere where I even recorded some of those episodes of Behind the Video. So that was pretty cool.
So you knew kind of at a young age that world kind of sparked your interest.
Yeah, but it wasn't until 2014 where I actually I revisited that part of my brain and revisited that part of my childhood to make it into a career. Okay. Which is, we all go around the world on our journeys to get to where we need to be. Yes. But for whatever reason, it took me that long. I don't know why. Now, I guess I had to learn a lot of stuff before I get to this point. So
no, absolutely. I think sometimes our dreams change as we learn, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I know I remember you didn't start, a big part of your videography journey didn't start with just shooting video, because you before even shooting video, you were DJing.
Yeah, I was DJing. And again, music. Yeah. Music is everything for me and to me. Without music, I really don't know what my life would be. Okay. DJing came around early 90s again, and that was through the movie Juice and House Party. It was one point in my college life, I used to watch Juice and House Party every weekend for like a straight year. That's how much those
like a hype up movie.
Yeah, well, Juice, because the simple fact that Q, who was played by Omar Epps, his character was a DJ in the movie. Oh, true. And so just seeing the visuals of that and seeing the life of a DJ, a battle DJ in particular, and how he would put his set together for his performances is pretty cool. And the fact that movie touched upon a culture in such a great time in my life, at least. And then it was House Party. Again, Martin Lawrence played DJ, what was it, DJ Blau or some shit like something like that.
Oh, yeah. I remember he was in the movie, and the girl kept hitting the table.
Exactly.
He's like, yo, stop hitting the table, you're going to make my record skip.
Exactly. So the fact that he commanded the whole party, like if he wasn't around, there would be at least in that movie, there would be no one play the music. And so I like that fact.
And that was back when crates were a thing. You had to take your records with you, your turntables. It was a move.
Funny thing, I was at my grandmother's house maybe like 2 months ago. And like when I moved, I guess into when I moved to Vegas, I had put everything in my grandmother's basement, and my aunt asked me when I was there. She's like, "Can I throw this stuff away?" So there's a whole bunch of records and like old turntables down there that probably have mildew on there because I haven't even seen that stuff since I can't even remember.
Road trip.
I know, right?
Like I'm trying to go look.
But yeah, if she didn't throw it away already, I probably still have a lot of my stuff in her basement.
Let's definitely take a look, man. But you said that you asked her to store your DJ stuff before you moved to Vegas. What drew you out to Vegas? Because for a lot of people, just because you grew up in Jersey City.
Yes.
So big shout out to Jersey City. So you kind of have the stomping grounds out here. We have a lot of common friends and just things we know about for the neighborhood. What was it that had strong enough of an opportunity or meaning for you that you were just like, all right, I'm going out to Vegas. Let's go.
Yeah, well, my best friend DJ Pound. Shout out to DJ Pound. I met him in college. So through him, because he moved, so he got a gig at the 4040 New York City, which is Jay-Z's club. Yeah. And I was working with him because that's the homie. So I used to work with him at a music management company. So I was always there, always by his side. And so whenever he had club night, which was usually Friday and Saturday when we first started, he always used to stay late in the office. And so I used to open up for him at the club. Now, mind you, if we could revisit these stories, I guess at some point during this podcast. But so sometimes he didn't get to the club to like 11, maybe mid 12 a.m. And the club night started like 9 a.m. So sometimes there were fight nights, right? And when fight nights came, and this was 4040 was popping. This was between the years of 2005 and 2008. So this was the earlier years, and I'll probably say around 2006. He used to come to the club late because he was working. So I'm just there opening. Now, mind you, you have a young Jay-Z and a young Beyonce on the stairs. And it wasn't until 4040 that I actually got like a real club experience as far as the DJ is concerned. So when you have your version pretty much to the New York nightlife, and yet you have these monster superstars who brought in other monster superstars. You got Puff, you got Mariah Carey, all hanging out to watch a fight, and yet you got to play whatever the hell you think is good. And the thing is, like, in that environment, we used to always get told, like, don't play Jay music while he's here.
Really?
Jay never liked to hear his own music.
Wow.
At least in those years when he was in the building.
Yeah.
And if you did, you had to play it in a way that would catch him off guard, and then you see him like, oh, all right, that's dope.
So you had to be a man of your craft.
Yeah, you really had to, like,
you couldn't just see him
the crowd. Because the weird thing about 44, it's not necessarily weird, but everyone used to go there hoping to see Jay. And when Jay is in the building, people want to hear Jay. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But when you're told like Jay doesn't want to hear his music, you have to figure out how to give the crowd what they want, as well as pleasing boss man. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Seriously.
So fast forward. So Pound brought me along on that whole ride. And so when 40 started opening other locations, they opened up Atlantic City first. And then they opened up Vegas. The thing about my boy Pound, and what I learned from him, was the power of manifestation. Okay. He is probably one of the people that I know, if he has a vision, it comes true. I don't know what God he prays to. Okay. I don't know what he does, but during this era, right, he brought because we heard, on the low that they were planning on opening a Vegas location. Gotcha. So being that he was the main guy as far as the DJs, like whenever they open up a spot, he would go to the new spots, warm it up, and then he'd bring in whoever he felt to help him out during the night. So before he left New York, he bought this Vegas sign. It was like a neon sign, so it's like a lamp. So you basically pull the thing down, and the light goes on. Yeah. So whenever it was like 12 a.m., every night he turned on that sign. Jeez. And this is before they even asked him to go out there. Yeah. And he bought a hot box yellow Corvette.
Living in New York.
Living in New York.
Okay.
And playing in New York, playing in Atlantic City. like a year or two, and this is before, a year or two later, they asked him finally to go to Vegas. That same year, he got himself a yellow Corvette just because he wanted it. And the fact that he manifested to get out there, he went out there. So he went out there in like 2008. I was still doing my thing back here on the East Coast. So it wasn't until 2011 where we had a conversation. He was like, yo, if you're not doing much on the East Coast, I could throw you a few gigs over here if you want to come out here until you get on your feet. So I finally took him up on his offer in 2011, and that's how I got to Vegas.
Sheesh, man.
Yeah.
So it kind of took like a little bit of his manifestation, your willingness to still enrich that relationship that kind of led you to take and dive to get out to Vegas. Now, once you were in Vegas, and you're like, we're going to come back to the manifestation. We got to talk about that because I think that's a huge thing, especially when it comes to following your dreams. You have to have some level of hope, right? Where J. Cole once says you almost have to be delusional. Like to believe that you could do something so massive, it keeps you going, it keeps you growing, it keeps you continue to grind even when it's not really easy. So you get out to Vegas, you're doing the gigs out there. Was Vegas everything you thought it would be, or were there moments where you're just kind of like, maybe this ain't it? Like, what was your Vegas experience?
Vegas was great when it was great.
Okay.
But
what makes Vegas great, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I was part of nightlife, so I was a DJ. So I was just having this conversation with a friend who actually still lives there the other day. Like, I don't know what quote unquote regular life is in Vegas. Like, say for instance, if someone has a regular 9 to 5, and no disrespect when I use the word regular, you know what I mean? Just compared to being a DJ in the nightlife culture, it's different animal and beast. Yeah. That's a different lifestyle. And every day was a Saturday. Bro, I'll wake up rather after getting home 7 to 8 o'clock in the morning, if not 9 or 10 in the morning, just to do it all over again. And for me, during that age, that was great. Would I do that now? No. I've been there, done that. It was cool.
Try to be in bed by 10.
Yeah, nowadays. But Vegas was great. But I had the moment, if anyone knows, the gig culture is either up and down. You could make $20,000 one month and make zero the next 2 months. So as a DJ, it's pretty much the same thing. Like, if you don't have consistent gigs, you don't have a residency somewhere or a couple of residencies, money can be,
scarce.
Yeah, it could be really scarce. So when you have the funds, you have enough gigs coming in, you living right. But I had the moments where life wasn't great, but I was still loving Vegas. But in all honesty, I was struggling. I had certain moments where I'm like, hey, I'm about to go back to Jersey. This isn't it. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, man. And that's a real side, man. I think a lot of people don't ever come face to face with the reality that, like, the road to success and progression is not going to be a smooth one in any way, shape, or form, where just because you have the opportunity and talent doesn't mean you're living life to the fullest, right? Like, you could be DJing at the 4040 in Jay-Z's new spot, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're rolling around with the money and everyone's around you.
Yeah, exactly.
And the opportunity, and more and less, you have to create the opportunity for yourself when you're out there. Like your boy said, I can give you a couple gigs, but you gotta come out here and hustle with it, man. Right. So, was there ever a point in Vegas, like you said, there were points where you thought about coming back to Jersey? Like, what was that point like? What was that point like, knowing like you worked hard to get to where you are and it just wasn't feeding you the way you wanted?
It sucked because that's the reality of it. But at the same time, I must admit, I wasn't going as hard as I should have gone, if I'm being honest. Like, yeah, he gave me the opportunities to get myself on my feet, but I didn't do anything further, or I didn't do that much further as far as the DJ is concerned to get more gigs or network or just be a better person as far as doing or living the best I can to help me stay afloat while I was there. I eventually got like full-time jobs while I was out there, just, pay the bills. That was cool, but it wasn't necessarily what I wanted to do. It's something that I had to do. And whenever you feel you have to do something, you're not really in it with your heart.
That's true. Absolutely. That's entirely true, man. And I think it's interesting you say that, because a lot of people usually experience the latter, where they get the 9 to 5 first and then go move out someplace to follow their dream, where you went out there first for that and then had to get to 9 to 5.
Right.
Like, what is that feeling like? Knowing like, and I'm not trying to make it great, but what is that like? You're playing a club, you got people screaming, and then like the next day you wake up with like a shirt and tie on, and you're like, "Hi, welcome, how can I help you?"
Yeah, the funny thing about me is I always don't like to put all my eggs in one basket.
Oh, okay.
So I always was like that Clark Kent Superman type guy, Heckle and Jive type of thing, because I used to always say I used to keep one foot in the club and one foot into corporate America.
Okay.
Because you never know when one or the other is going to go down. And so corporate America was always my backup plan. I mean, I do have a degree in marketing, so that's always in my back pocket.
Yeah.
But that's not fun. At least it wasn't fun for me. Like, I was all about the clubs, man. Like, I needed to be in those clubs. So when I was coming in 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, I had to be up at like 6 or 7 to make it into the office by 8. It's always a reality check. But at the same time, it's always something I was always grateful for, because as a DJ, you don't have health insurance, or you have to pay for it out of your pocket. Well, even when you have a full-time job, it's still coming out of your pocket, but it's pre-tax at that point. But you don't see it, so you're not really worried about it. Otherwise, if you're a contractor or a freelance worker, you literally have to take money that's out of your bank account or your credit card to pay for the health insurance. So it's it hurts a little bit more, even though it's a good thing. You know, it's kind of a weird feeling. So even though how that was it was just, you're in the club a few hours before you go into the office. It was always a weird feeling. Yeah. But it was something that kept me grounded. And it's something that always reminded me that you have to do these things, at least for me, because I was never comfortable with just doing one thing as far as counting on one source of income. Yeah. So that's what it was. What it was. So, I got by until I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think because that's an important part to point out, because a lot of young people want to follow their dreams into their craft, and they kind of frown upon a 9 to 5. The funny thing about it is, like, I mean, we've shared stories. Like, you told me, like, there's been times you've been broke.
Oh yeah,
it was like drinking water for 5 days.
Drinking water for dinner,
and that's like,
it was real.
To think about that, that's an extreme that most people aren't willing to forego to reach their goals. Right. Like, I mean, as someone that's about my passion, like, I mean, I've eaten ramen for a couple of days straight. I've been like, all right, I need to buy this equipment now. I don't get paid for another 2 weeks. All right, this go 2 weeks, we're gonna be on dollar menu items. Like, that's an extreme most people are not willing to go through. But it's not always an avenue you have to take, right? Like you said, you can have a 9 to 5, but that takes a different level of grit. Because, and I'm not pointing fingers at corporate America or devaluing the jobs, but like you said, if you're doing something you have to and not what you want, it doesn't feed your soul the same way.
Exactly.
And it can even take from it. And being creative like yourself in the music industry, the music world, and in the film world, that can completely demotivate you to work on your craft. So when you were in a corporate world, like you said, 1 foot in the corporate world, 1 foot into the club. Yeah. How were you able to balance that level of creativity and sensibility, like we said, getting 3-4 hours sleep and being tired, but still going to club, being hyped, being emotionally aware of what you're doing to play music or what the crowd's feeling? How'd you find that balance?
I found the balance through talking to God, honestly. I found the balance in just knowing what I wanted. And I know that, because I was working at an insurance company at one point in Vegas, I know that wasn't my final stop. It was a pit stop. So for me to get whatever to the next destination, I had to maintain in my mind that you got to keep going. And so with that mentality, I had no choice but to find balance. Even if I was tired, I had to get up and do whatever it is I had to do, whether it's to go to work at the insurance company or go to the club, because bills had to get paid. I didn't feel like drinking water for dinner anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So for me, balance comes in the form of just remembering what I'm doing this for. And as long as I keep thinking that way, for me, balance comes easy.
That makes sense, man. That definitely makes sense, because it's easy to lose sight of that big picture,
right,
of where you want to go. And it seems like to me, just based off of what we've been talking about, your big picture may have changed a few little bit over time, because I start talking about your accolades in the media world
right.
of video editing, and we go to a whole story of DJing.
Yeah.
But like you said, there was a big influence of the hip hop culture. At what point was there the shift from like, all right, I'm gonna go from DJing to really leaning into media to getting to editing? At what point was that like pinnacle moment, like, or that shift where you decide, all right, this is the next move for me?
It was probably, I would probably say September 13th, 2017.
Sheesh, man's is accurate.
I remember that because that was the day I got fired from the insurance company.
Okay.
And that was the day that my mother arrived to Vegas to celebrate my birthday, which was 3 days later, on September 16th.
Gang, gang, Virgo season.
Exactly. So my
yes, AJ, welcome to the room, my guy. All of the gang.
So my early birthday present was being terminated from my job. Mm-hmm. But you know how it goes. It's like when one door closes, the next one does open. As corny and as cliche as it may sound, if you really believe that, usually what happens. It may take some time, but it happens. And so thanks to that, that allowed me the ability to fly back and forth between Vegas and Jersey, which then I will go to New York just to see who, check the temperature still, see who's around. And even while I was at the insurance company before I got fired, like say for instance, my day started at 8:30 or 9, I was still freelancing for I1, which owns TV One, while there. So they were back on the East Coast, so that they are 3 hours ahead, obviously. And so while I was about to start my day in Vegas at my desk, I used to go to work maybe like an hour and a half early to work on the TV stuff before I start my boring job in Vegas. So once I realized I was doing that stuff, because I was really, really passionate about it. Like I could have been editing some trash, but I was like, I'm gonna make this trash look like the best it can be, just because I think this is what probably is the next move. Yeah, and it was like it really was. I didn't know that at the time, but I knew that because my relationship with I1 at the time was brand new, and I know that I still want to impress the people that hired me. So I was doing whatever I can at any given moment. I was saying yes to everything, even though I'm like, fuck, I just got like 30 minutes to sleep. Yeah. How am I going to do this?
Got to keep going. The opportunity rises.
Exactly. So I knew once I had that type of fire in me, because it came out of nowhere, honestly. Yeah. That's when I knew I was like, all right, this is the next thing for me. Okay. But I was still at the insurance company, but it wasn't until me being terminated where I was like, I guess I'll move forward with this and see how far I can go with it. And this being video editing.
So that's pretty. So you've had your foot in and out of the corporate world and job in some sense through every venture that you've had. I think that's an important move. Like you said, it gives you something to fall back on. Do you feel like having something to fall back on gave you a greater, I don't want to say ability, but did it make it easier for you to take a risk as jumping full-time into something like video editing with no formal background, just learning on your own through YouTube and everything like that? Yeah. Were you more, I don't want to say, were you more confident in saying, all right, let me try this, and you know what, if I fall, I got something to come back to?
No, because the job market always been trash, especially for marketing at the time. Like I used to have like marketing assistant jobs. It wasn't really a walk in the park to get a marketing job during that time. At least for me, it never really was as far as getting a job. That's why I'm surprised, even when I think about my life now and what I'm doing now, and I can only just chalk that up to be that I'm walking in my path because it came so, for lack of better words, it came easy. Yeah, compared to when I was actually trying to get a job.
Yeah, because I remember you shared the story with me. Funny enough, and I don't want to tell your own story, but I remember you shared the story with me how you got how you started working with the company you're with now. That you when you came back to Jersey?
I was here. What year? This was 4 years ago. So Yeah, that was 2017. No, so, that was 2019.
So 2019. So you had a pretty big gap of time.
Yeah, I moved back here from Vegas March of 2018.
Wow.
I was officially back here. So during that course of, and I started at the job that I'm at now in July 2019. So between 2018 and 2019, I was still trying to figure stuff out. But I knew I wanted to remain a video editor.
Yeah.
You know, but where and for who, I wasn't sure.
So how did you spend that time? Like you said, you were figuring it out. Were you spending your time focusing on your craft? Were you out networking? How were you using your time wisely to figure out which direction you wanted to go?
Yeah, I'm always working on my craft, even to this day. But I without even thinking too hard, I already knew I probably was working on my craft. I was out shooting, and whenever I shot something, I came back and edited it just to practice new techniques. So as far as the skills, I was getting better and better each day because I knew that whenever that opportunity came about, I wanted to be ready.
So you were really just putting the reps in at that point?
Yeah, I literally was. Like, ever since 2014, I probably have edited, if I had to make up a number, I would probably say like at least 5,000 to 6,000 videos at this point.
Different topics, different styles, different
whether it's
clients.
My personal stuff, if it's for client stuff, whether it's for Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever social platform you could think of, YouTube. I probably edited that many videos, if not more.
So you're well over your 10,000 hours of expertise.
Think so.
Because that's, to put that much out there, I mean, you got to have a love for this to be willing to keep doing it, especially for free. There's something Pharrell said where to find your purpose, find something that you would do for free, and then find an industry that you can what's the word I want to use, that you can shine in it. And find out how you can use that with humanity and help people. And that's kind of your purpose. So within that time, you put in, that's 5 whole years of grinding.
Yeah.
Just putting in the work. You come back and you look in, I remember to get the job you had, it was, correct me if I'm wrong, it was literally just not LinkedIn.
It was Indeed.
It was an Indeed link that you applied for, like something like 2 a.m. or something like that?
Yeah, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I was on an air mattress in Brooklyn.
Yes.
Shout out to Crystal. She was living a great life. She was in where was she at the time? She was in Split, Croatia, DJing. Now, mind you, I told her how to DJ, and she out there living better than I am.
She's putting in that work, Croatia.
Exactly. So she's in Croatia, and she just let me crash at her place because she was gone. So she's like, you can just
keep the water running. Don't let the flies in.
Exactly. So it was 1 o'clock. I believe it was a Monday or Tuesday. I wasn't tired. I was scrolling through Indeed.com looking for work, so I don't have to be on an air mattress anymore in Brooklyn.
I mean, it's the worst place to be an air mattress in Brooklyn.
You're absolutely right. Is that absolutely right? And then I came across a job, and I applied for 1 o'clock in the morning. Like, who the hell applies for jobs 1 o'clock in the morning? This guy.
Yes.
Because I always figured that I would want to be on the top of the inbox by the time they come in the morning. That's my strategy. And it worked. And I got the interview I got the call maybe like 2 or 3 days later.
Yeah.
And again, that was the fastest I've ever gotten a call back from applying randomly for a job. So that's why when that occurred, I was like, this has to be it.
And the funny thing, correct me if I'm wrong, in the interview, you literally edited the video for them the same day.
Yeah, I went for the interview, and they had a small project that actually turned out to be something real for the client because I did a good job on it. But we had the interview, and I just so happened to have my laptop on me. Well, no, it wasn't just so happened. I was strategic about having my laptop on me. I'll be honest. I was real strategic, just in case something like that would happen. So I brought the laptop. No, it wasn't just in case. I had the laptop there because I wanted to showcase some of my video work. And because I didn't have an iPad at that time, but I had my laptop. So that was the real purpose. And they just so happened, it's like, hey, we have this project here. We want to see, your skills and ability. Can you take it home and just email it to us when you're done? I was like, I'll do you one better. I'll do it right here. Just give me an hour. And I did it in like 35 minutes.
Sheesh.
Killed the job. And I'm still at the company now.
Jeez, my guy. So literally, air mattress in Brooklyn, came home from Vegas, 5 years of grinding, 1 o'clock in the morning, applied for the job. 2 days later, in there, get the call, interview, knock out the interview, hire, still there.
Yeah.
So I say that to say, literally, when you make that mention in the beginning about manifestation being a big part of it, one key thing I keep hearing you say is you knew.
Yeah.
You were practicing for something. You knew you were grinding for something. You didn't know what it is, but you kind of had the belief that, like, all right, something big and better is coming. I'm going to keep grinding for this.
Yeah.
And it just happened like that. Like, so to say, like, the opportunity felt like it came easy because you were prepared when it came.
I was definitely prepared.
But the grind wasn't easy.
Right.
And I think that's a big misconception most people have where, like, they see the success and they see the confidence and ability you have now, and they don't see the time it takes to grind. Because let's be real here. If you go up to somebody and say, hey, it's going to take 5 years of unknown struggle and constant grinding, but in that 5-year time, you're going to get an opportunity to go after what you want, most people would say no.
Yeah, they would definitely say
we just wouldn't have the work ethic with it. And even still to this day, from what I know, you still work with your company. You still have other products. I know the products that we are working on together, and they consistently grow as our time comes together. Where did this undying work ethic come from?
I'd probably say my family.
Okay.
My mom, for sure. I grew up in a single-parent household, and my mom had no choice but to bust her ass to make sure I got food on the table, a roof over my head. She even put me through private school. I went to Catholic school.
Sheesh.
From kindergarten to 8th grade. So I don't know what she was twerking, whatever she was doing. She made the money.
Shout out to mom.
Exactly. She did what she had to do to make sure I stayed in private school, make sure I stayed fed, make sure I had a roof over my head. And 1996, she got a Christmas bonus that changed my life. She bought DJ equipment for me for Christmas. So from her, I just, through osmosis, I probably learned how to work hard, or no matter what if you want something, you got to work for it. You know, at least in my household, nothing was given. I earned it, cause I was an honor roll student. So the deal was in my household, as long as I stayed on an honor roll, I get whatever I wanted. And I was like, I like school. Exactly. Right. So I get these A's and B's real quick. Right. And so that's what it was. I just had to be a nerd, and I could have gotten whatever I want. And I don't know.
Kind of rocked out, which makes sense, man, because that nerd mentality kind of works. But even your mom at that level, to be able to reward you for your academic achievements kind of set you up for what you were doing. Yeah. Because to be self-taught and to be at the level that you are, like, is no small feat. And I always make a joke, like, most people are turning the TV and seeing the commercials that you worked on. Little they know, like, they're being made, where they're being made and by who. Exactly. Like, I don't want to say it's comical, but it's extremely, it's kind of comical, extremely fascinating.
I'll be dead ass in my drawers at home, editing commercials that people watch on their living room couch.
It's the wildest thing. It's the wildest thing. Like, literally, like, in my mind, I'm like, yo, people are like, yo, this is a major company, they $1 million organization, tons of computers, whole team. Tyson sitting home like, yeah, we're gonna do this. This color need to be changed quick. Let me go get my food from DoorDash real quick, like, just to do it. But it shows the power you have in the place in which you reside, man. And it, to me, it speaks volumes, because it looks like you have a complete trifecta that kind of puts you there. Like, you had the support from your moms, laying that example, putting you right places, and you had that work ethic, and you were willing to grind through the hard times because you knew the bigger part was there. And funny enough, even now, like, so, like, you knew you wanted to do this, you knew you wanted to do your work. Why? What was it that made you want to do this work so much that you were willing to go through all that? Like, what was the purpose behind it? What is the bigger picture that you're like, okay, this is why I need to get here?
Honestly, I think nowadays it's to prove myself. Prove to myself that I made the right decision. Because it wasn't until sophomore year of high school that I changed directions in my mind. Like, I wanted to be a cardiologist. I am a diehard fan, even to this day, of medicine.
Okay, because I was about to be like, where is this going?
Yeah, like, I like the heart and, like, all what it does. Like, you think about it, like, it starts beating at the very beginning of your life, and it keeps going until whenever you're dead.
That's true.
That's a long ass battery. Think about it, you know what I mean?
Geez.
So at a young kid, I was always intrigued by that.
Mm-hmm.
So cardiology was my way of life. My mom used to buy me medical books.
Mm.
I did a science project on the heart at one point. But then sophomore year of high school, I was watching the Super Bowl and I saw a Doritos commercial. And it made me laugh like nothing else.
Jeez.
And I was like, I don't remember what commercial it was. Even to this day, people ask me, well, what commercial was it?
Seriously, because now I want some
don't
Doritos.
know. All I know is it
like,
just inspired me. Like I don't remember. But once I saw that commercial, I was like, yo, I want to be a part of whatever team that did that. I want to know what I need to do to get into that business because it really changed the course of my life. I'm not even being dramatic.
No.
I tell the story all the time, and the words never change because it's for real. I saw that commercial, and I was like, all right, I guess I get a marketing degree instead of going, to become a doctor, and hopefully I can get within the advertising business to see where it goes. That was I graduated college with a marketing degree in 2005. It wasn't until 2019 until I got my first job in advertising.
Sheesh.
So between 2005 and 2019, I had marketing jobs at PR firms. I used to work at Enterprise, rental car. And of course, throughout this whole entire time, I was still a DJ, no matter what. That's why I will always love DJing. DJ has never let me down. But yeah, it wasn't until 2019 where I got my first foot in the door to prove to myself I made the right decision.
Sheesh.
I think I'll be pissed off if it didn't work out at the time. I was like,
but like Kanye says, I guess we'll never know.
Right, exactly.
That's kind of wild, man. And just to be able to tell that story, man, because it definitely takes endurance. And we talked about it, right, where you get to a point in your life where you unknowingly know and feel like you have something that you're building and you're trying to get to, and you finally get to that where it's happening. And you start to realize, like, oh, this is only the beginning. Yeah. Because we've had conversations before where I'm like, Tyson, your drive is crazy. Like, every time we talk and we meet up, something new is going on. Like, you either pulling me into a project, I'm trying to pull you into a project. And you said to me, like, I'm always curious of what's next. Yeah. I'm always curious of what's next. Like, where do you feel like that, like, for you, what does that what's next mentality come from? Is it curiosity? Do you have something bigger that you're looking to achieve? Like, what does that mean for you?
What's next means that I just want to always be in a constant flow of looking for more work. I have trauma from being broke. Okay. Sleeping on couches.
Yes. Drinking water for dinner.
Yeah, like it's real.
Yeah.
Like, when I'm in my mid-30s and I'm on my mom's couch, that's not sexy. So
to some people it may be. I don't know.
To me it's not. It's not. And so for me it's always a thing of I don't want to go back there. So whatever it is I have to do, I'm going to do it. I'm not selling ass. I'm not going to do that.
I mean, OnlyFans is a thing now. You know,
yeah,
I mean, OnlyFans is a thing now, bro. I'm just saying. You don't got to sell it. You can take the pics.
But, yeah, what's next means that I'm always on a hunt to make sure I don't go back to that couch. But it's a gift and a curse because it robs me from appreciating the present moment. Like, I'm actually living in what I prayed for 5 years ago, 1 year ago, 6 months ago. But yet because I have this desire not to go back to anyone's couch but my own, I have a hard time appreciating the present moment. And it kind of almost feels like an insult to God. Wow. Because be like, yo, I just gave you this. Relax for a little bit.
You want some more, my brother?
Right, exactly.
Like,
just
you ain't happy with this?
But I can never take the foot off the gas because I'm so scared of going back to a couch. Wow. And so whenever I see a couch, it's like a crazy metaphor. And if it's not my couch in my own place, it's like, nah, I don't want to be there.
Gee, you can't even go to your mom's house. You're like, sit on the couch. You're like,
right,
nah,
chill.
I'm going to sit in the dining room.
Exactly.
We can talk in the
Let
kitchen. Why you need me to sit on the couch for?
Exactly. Exactly. So that's what's next actually means for me. It means that what is next so you don't have to go back to a couch.
That's huge, man. That's huge. When you talk about that level of trauma, that because that's a big part of the mental health, about even peace, right?
Yeah.
Finding peace within your work as you move forward. Because I mean, you probably do. I guess do you feel that you are able to emotionally process the excitement of the achievements you have? Like when you have them, like do you get hyped when you like get a new gig or like have a certain accolade reached? Like are any of those things still like exciting to you?
Sometimes I find myself getting excited. Like this project I'm working on nowadays has got me excited. Only because it's one of those things where, all right, before I left Vegas in 2016, I had some people make vision boards. I had a whole entire wall of visions that I wanted to take place because I had nothing else going on in the apartment. There was barely any furniture. There was definitely no pictures.
You had a couch.
I didn't even have a couch.
You had an air mattress?
I had a bed, but that was the only thing in the bedroom, just the bed.
That's fine.
Or whatever. Yeah, it was totally fine. It was. Yeah. I was in the trenches. I was just happy I had something to roof over my head. But in 2016, I had a vision wall, and I had a whole bunch of brands on the wall. I had a whole bunch of cities and countries I wanted to visit, and one of the brands I had up there was HBO. That was 2016. 2023 comes, and I'm finally getting my opportunity to work with HBO, which is now Max. So when that happened, I had to take a step back because I was going to say no to the project because
please share with that.
It came at a point where I just had so much going on that I didn't know I can be honestly fit that onto my plate. And I never want to say yes to anything and let someone down. I know how that feels. So I'd rather be honest with you, like, yo, as much as I want to do this, I just don't have the time or space to do it. I was going to say that. But I remember back in May or April, I spoke to my God. I was like, I'm trying to clear this credit card debt up.
Yes.
I just need some more opportunities for work or whatever you may have. And so a whole bunch of DJ gigs started coming to me this whole entire summer. And then this big project came to me in July. And again, I had commercials going on. I have other side projects going on that's taking up way too much time. And this one was massive. And my guy hit me up in an email. I didn't respond to him until like hour and a half later. Like I pretty much I have them on red until I decided what I was going to do. And then I had to take a step back. I was like, yo, you asked for this. So if you weren't capable of getting it done, it wouldn't have came your way. My guy knows a whole bunch of editors who would never have him on red for a whole entire hour. At the drop of a dime, he would got a response. So the fact that he reached out to me out of the sea of editors that he know, once again, just reminded me that I'm walking in the right path. And so I told him, yeah. And then once I said, yeah, I lie to you not. My plate was, like, room on my plate was being made for
cleared out, yeah.
I don't know how, but I'm not questioning it. It cleared enough for me to get the project done. And when that happened, I was excited because I was like, wow, this is actually something that I manifested, and here we are. And so whenever something like that happens, I'm like, wow, this is like unbelievable.
Absolutely.
And so little things like that keeps me excited.
Absolutely, man. It sounds like it. Just listening to you, sheesh, man. Just to hear how it all plays out is nothing short of just amazing to hear, and it brings you back to the point of like the spirituality piece, because we talked about manifestation. You had a whole vision wall. You prayed to your God about what you want. How heavily does spirituality influence your life on a day-to-day basis?
All the time. I keep God at my center. Without God, there's no me, honestly, at least in my life. So spirituality is a major key in everything that I do. I always have that conversation. Am I doing the right thing? Do I need to do something else? If this is the right thing, let me know. So I ask those type of questions. And that's important for me because it's like my compass. Because if I don't have that, I'll probably be lost. Then I'll probably go back to the couch.
You ain't trying to go back to the couch, bro.
We know I'm not
going to the couch. It's
not
happening. It's not happening, bro. It's not happening.
Exactly.
But that's truly amazing to see it because we hear stories all the time, right? And we're given opportunities, and so many of us say no to them because we don't think we're capable.
Right.
And lo and behold, literally, we're a lot stronger than we think.
Yeah.
And I mean, just from hearing your story, you're a shining example of that. Now, man. Now, being as involved in media as you are, where do you see media going with all the changes that are happening now? We just had the writer's strike. 50 Cent is making TV shows. Tyler Perry and all of them was trying to buy BET. Even Van Jones on his interview with Earn Your Leisure made a statement of having ownership of media as being one of the 4 powers we have in the world and in America. Where do you see media going, and where do you see yourself in that?
Well, I can only say where I hope to see media go, and that's more minority ownership to control more narrative for our people and tell our stories the way that they should be told. That's what I would like to see. I would like to see more Black and brown billionaires or people with money get together to create more stuff and stop fighting with each other and just come together to work as one so we get much further. That's what I would like to see. I could see myself personally wanting a piece of that pie by starting certain businesses that lift people up, that don't have opportunities to be in these spaces. I always think that once I reach a particular space, I'm going to reach down to bring other people up who don't have the opportunities, because there's a lot of gatekeeping, particularly in advertising, that I would like to change and do something about. So I don't necessarily know where media is going to go. I could just give you my hopes and, dreams of where I want it to go. But I would hope it'd be a bit more inclusive. I would hope there'd be more content that people care about. And I'm talking music as well. Music is trash nowadays. It's so microwavable.
Okay.
And no disrespect to any artist, but it is what it is. And I think, at least on social media, I'm starting to see everyday people, realizing how everything sounds the same, whether it's in the production or the lyrics or even the visuals. Everyone's looking the same. Everyone's getting the same BBL. Everyone's getting the same teeth.
Seriously.
Seriously,
it's copy and paste. It's like, it's weird. It's like, as soon as the Kardashians, no disrespect to them, it's like they all have the same doctor or plastic surgeon where they're all looking the same. And it's kind of, that copy and paste causes us to lose the beauty of what we have labeled imperfections of life.
Yeah, so even just being on socials and seeing people finally awakening to the same stuff they're getting tired of, it's a beautiful thing. And I hope there is an actual shift in media and content where people actually care again. Yeah. To produce better content, whether it's music, films, shows, podcasts. Something just better, because even now, it's like everyone's having the same conversations over and over again on social media. I'm like, bro, I wake up way too early to talk about the same goddamn thing.
Yeah, it sounds like they're more or less, I found that and I don't even like to dive into it, but I found that most people are talking about the issue and never talking about a solution.
Exactly.
And we tend to, we don't, and that you can rinse and wash and repeat that for quite a long time, because we as human beings like to argue, and opinions, everyone's got one. So it's easy to put yours out there. But I feel like boiling down is talking about the solution is hard. And to that point you make, I think that's what we're trying to do here. So, I mean, I'm going to ask you for solutions, man. So if there's for all the young artists out there that are looking to get into media, whether it's through editing, videography, maybe even to DJing, but they're going after an aspiring career in the entertainment industry, what would be your advice, and where do you feel they should start to educate themselves on that journey?
I'll probably say use free resources such as YouTube, Google, and honestly work every day at your craft. And when you have an opportunity to network, do that. And I think even now, networking comes a bit easier. At least I think it is, thanks to social media. You can always hop in someone's DM. Hopefully, they respond to you. You can always comment under something. Hopefully, they respond to you. But yeah, just start out. Just every day, learn something new on YouTube. If you're an editor, and practice. Go out and shoot something and come back and put it together. I was looking at my first video a couple months ago. I'm like, yo, this shit is trash.
But you need it to be trash.
Yeah, you need it to be trash.
I think we don't realize, like, we're all going to be trash.
Right.
Like, my first podcasts are not going to be that great. I forgot one of my SD cards today.
Exactly.
So, like, you need to – it's okay not to be great immediately. It's okay to suck. You can look back and laugh at it, but it also means that you have so much progress you can get to.
Yeah.
So, keys, like you said – learn as much as you can off free resources, YouTube, just the internet, network. And by networking, like, you mean being able to partner with people who can utilize your craft and find value in what
and believe it or not, we probably have people in our circle that could possibly help us. Like, I got put on through my best friend, Crystal. She was DJing one night in the city in Midtown, and a mutual friend of ours was there, who happened to know a producer from I1. And she's like, Tyson, you edit, right? And so the mutual friend introduced me to the producer, and just so happened we all live in Jersey City at the time. We took a car from New York City to Jersey City, and so that gave us an opportunity to, like, chit-chat about whatever. And so she's like, yo, just send me your resume. The producer, send me your resume. And I sent it to her the next day. So that was in, like, October of 2017. It wasn't until December of 2018. I mean, yeah, that was October 2017. It wasn't until December 2017.
Okay.
Where she contacted me. He's like, yo, I got a project I want to put you on to. And from there, the ball been rolling.
So you just planted the seed.
Yeah. And that came from me obviously knowing Crystal. So I say that to say, like, it could be someone in your circle who you could possibly ask, like, yo, do you know if anyone at whatever company? If so, you think you could put me in contact with them, or give me an email or something and take it from there. But once you get that contact, it's all on you, and don't make your friend look bad.
So would you encourage people to be a little bit more forward and proactive with asking for opportunities?
I would, because I am not Mr. Talkative. I am actually shy. I'm actually an introvert. However, I know...
Hear that, ladies? Quiet guy here.
I am a quiet guy. However, I know I'm passionate about what I want.
Yeah.
In all honesty. So if you tell me someone's going to be at a party that they do X, Y, and Z, I'm going to be a little intimidated as far as, walking up to them, especially in a party atmosphere, because people come there to relax, you know what I mean? So you keep it short and sweet. But if someone tells me that, then I'm going to be like, all right, cool. Let me go at least introduce myself. And if I have a card, I give them my card or get their card and then follow up on the next day. Follow up is so important.
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't do that. And if you're young and you're trying to get on, follow up. Your follow-up game has to be strong. And once you follow up, you better have something to show.
There you go.
You know what I mean? So all the work you've been doing practicing, you better put it together in like a reel or something, or some type of portfolio, and show it off.
It makes sense, man. It's a plan that I don't want to say easily can be replicated, but it's a plan that can be replicated as long as you're willing to put in the work to move forward and really get it done. Yeah. Being patient is key. So I definitely appreciate your insight on that, man. Always appreciate everything you're doing. With that being said, man, what's next for Mr. Tyson? What's next on the plate for you? What are you building? I know you got a bunch of stuff going on, but what's next on the plate, man?
I'm just excited, man. Like, I'm working with Issa Rae, so that's pretty cool.
Okay.
Issa Rae project.
Okay.
So that's great.
Okay.
And then on a personal level, I plan to start my own, ad agency at some point in the near future. So that's going to take some time. But in the meantime, I'm actually just, again, working on my craft. So I'm just knowing that I want to start an agency. I'm learning right now. So that means YouTube, Google. I still use those resources.
Reading the books.
Exactly. Reading books. I buy books off of Amazon all the time now. So I guess that's what's next. And, you know, I'm still going to edit stuff. So I'm still going to be on your TVs. So that's always great. And beautiful. As a music production, too, I'm getting better as a music producer. So that's great.
Say more. People can hear you spinning the city again.
Exactly. So it's just about putting out music as well. Because my goal with music is I want to get more into sync music and sync licensing.
Yes.
So I want to start having music in these TV commercials that I'm working on or TV shows and score movies.
Score movies, man. I'm excited for it. I can't wait to hear it, my guy. And always appreciate having a conversation with you. Always admire everything you're doing. Inspiration to me, as always. So without further ado, this is your camera. You can let the people know what you got going on, where they can check out your stuff, and where they can learn more about you.
I'm not really active on socials. I don't post much, I'll be honest. But if you happen to want to know what I got going on, you can check me out at New High Media on Instagram. That's my business page. And if you want to get personal, you get me at my personal page at King Ty Adams if you want. But other than that, yeah, you can probably see me on your TV. You won't necessarily know, but I'm sure I'll be on your TV as well.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. Absolutely, man. Best of luck to you. Always appreciate you. I'm sure we're going to be doing more work together as always. Thank you for coming on, being a part of this. And ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed what you saw here today, really just one more information about what you heard from Mr. Tyson Adams himself. Definitely look in the description below. We'll put in links to all the information that he shared. We'll have some YouTube channels that you could check out to get some more information on editing. We'll probably put some links to some books down there, just anything that you guys need to kind of start your journey. And of course, we'll have the socials with Mr. Tyson Adams himself for you to check out his work. So as always, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you here at the State of Loud. And if you like what you heard, you already know what to do. Go hit that subscribe button, like the show, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Cut.